It's that time of year again. HSC trials begin. 3 years ago, that was me. Now I'm a passionate real estate agent. I'm going to tell you what's the difference between now and then. Stay tuned. Good morning.
Oh, Billy Bob, the old man stuck in a young man's body.
It's that time of year where the students of New South Wales become more stressed than any mortgage holder, than any professional in the workplace. They've been basically doing 13 years of prep for this moment.
Yup. I had my daughter on the couch last night and she was like a deer in headlights. Wasn't happy, wasn't sad, didn't know what to think.
Yeah, I actually hated that time of year for year 12. It almost kind of ruined my my overall experience because it is so stressful. It definitely rubs off on the family. There's your mum and dad have to lend an ear to this madness where you're prepping for your final exams or you're just beginning to start for your trials. And I think the first thing you're speaking about is the exam, and then the second thing you're speaking about is the result it may bring, and then the third thing is what are you going to do after.
Yeah, like my youngest Jade, she's 17, and it was interesting listening to what Lisa was saying to her about things like, don't worry, her requirement, she wants to be a nurse, so her requirement for a good ATAR is not heavy, but she's still freaking out. You can imagine kids that need to get a high ATAR score to get into their dream degree, how stressed they are. And like I was saying to Lisa this morning, like, we're actually not parents that are saying you need to get this particular percentage result. We're sort of like, look, as long as you're a happy kid, you just do what you can do. But you can imagine, being up the kids for, like, you must get more than 95 or 99 or whatever. And then we had my eldest daughter who did particularly well in her results, very close to 100, and she's there going, look, it doesn't really matter. She's been in the work out of school for 7 years now, and she's like, you know what, you sort of doesn't really matter, don't stress. It's a really hard time for these kids. It's a really hard time.
There's one thing worse than the HSC though, and that's sibling rivalry. When you have to try and match or beat what the older sibling has done in your pastime, that's so much worse. So I feel like that's added pressure. I do feel sorry for Jade.
Well, we got into a debate, Shani, our eldest, and me, because Shani said the worst thing. She goes, it doesn't matter if you're not smart. I was like, hang on. You mean academic? She goes, no, I mean smart. I'm like, no, you mean academic? She goes, nah, I mean smart. I'm like, look, you can be smart streetwise, or you can be smart academic, and you can be dumb streetwise when you get out in the real world. So, and then there was this banter on about that, and it's just so and none of that's considered at the moment when these guys are doing their trials. It's just like, that's the score, that's success, that's the holy grail. You fall short of it, deal with it. It's like, oh no, there's more to it.
It's tricky. For me, my advice would be to anyone starting this next couple of month journey, your last couple of months, try to enjoy it. You've worked so hard to get this far. You shouldn't tarnish your school experience just with stressing out over the last few exams. You've hopefully done a little bit of prep. I know when I was doing mine, I definitely could have done more, but did a little bit of prep, and I kind of walked into it with the attitude that I'd worked backwards to kind of get what I want. And what I mean by that is so many people look at it from the approach that they must get the great ATAR to then get straight into the course they want, to then go straight into the job they think they want. But it's funny, a couple of years after that all happened, we still go to the same kind of house parties situation and talking to the guy on the couch who, what did you end up doing after your HSC? I promise you, no one's even talking about it these days. And I'm class of 2020, so no, it's not mentioned at all. In fact, if you bring it up, you're a bit of a weirdo.
Well, yeah, if you look at that. So it's something that, and you know what's really interesting that I found, good morning, Luke. Hey, Lise. Something interesting that I found was you used to talk about your actual result, and now it's actually taboo. So everyone used to like measure up. I got this, I got that, I got this. As a matter of fact, everyone, if you didn't tell someone your results, you're a weirdo. Like you would get hammered. Whereas now it's starting to get the way where it's a private thing, the result that you get. I sort of don't mind that, but it still doesn't take away from the huge emphasis that's there.
I didn't tell my parents for I think a year or two afterwards. They never knew, which did them crazy. Yeah. I think obviously it's far more important to some people than others. If you've got other plans lined up, then obviously it kind of you can put in how important that is in your priority order. But I think for so many people, they're doing this final step just to say they've done it, which is great. That's what I did, but it wasn't paramount to what my next steps were. So I remember so vividly, clearly, my conversation with Mark. It was 2 weeks before my first exam, and I called him in between a break, and I said, Mark, I've got one thing that's certain here. I'm not going to university. I hate this year 12 setup. And I said, because I'd already been doing a little bit of reception work, so we'd probably been working together for maybe 6-12 months. I said, do you reckon I could grab a full-time job opportunity when I finish? And Mark was like, yeah, no problem. Do you remember this, Mark?
Yep.
And so from there,
I didn't realize it was such a weighted conversation for you, though.
Yeah, massive. So I thought it
was just a chit chat sort of conversation, but it was vivid. It was big for you.
Well, I was really nervous because I didn't call Mark often back then. It was probably spoke once, sent him a text on a Sunday as to what I've done for the day, like a productivity report. But outside of that, we didn't really talk that much. So it's a big call for me. That was in November. I had a 2-week holiday called Schoolies and straight into full-time work, and that's been it. So there you go.
Good old Schoolies. What's Lisa got to say?
It's a sense of accomplishment, push through the fear and find yourself in a beautiful place. Absolutely. Yeah, I think it'll all work out.
So what did you get in the HSC?
75 ATAR, which I think was pretty average.
And look, I've got to say, this is really sensitive, but I've got to say, where I think school's important, and I'm not bagging results or good results or bad results, and this is what I said last night to the kids, sort of aren't kids anymore, the young adults. I was saying to them, what I find is more important is the process, and learning the mechanisms of study and the mechanisms of commitment, the mechanisms of hard work, and then enjoying the fruits of that. So, it's great to. I think that everyone loves to coin the word high school dropout, but I think it's as long as you're focused, you're hard work, you're good to people. No one can take anything away from you, good result or bad result. You are who you are. So that makeup of you after 17 years, it's still there. You know what I mean? The result doesn't lessen that or make, it doesn't make, it's about being a good human. And I think irrelevant to what your results are, if you're a good human, you're a good human, and your we're relevant to your HSC result.
Well, that's my parents said you're only nervous because you actually care. So true. Like, you just want to try and do the right thing by your parents, your teachers that put a lot of time into getting you there. So it's you just give it your best shot. It'll be fine. Do a bit of homework.
As long as you're putting more into the world than you're taking out, life's going to be good.
That's it. It's a easy formula, really. Very easy formula. But real estate, have a think about it. Have a think about it as a career. It's a great career. It doesn't just need to be a tie and collar job. It can be so many different parts to the industry. We've got valuations. Interestingly, 67% of real estate agents work in a capital city in Australia. A lot of it is 50-50 on gender. So there's heaps of women to men across the industry wide. I think some sectors are a little bit more sort of skewed, but there's a huge mix, lots of ages. There's no sort of age limit on getting into the industry. It's very, very easy to get your initial credentials and then build on that. So it's a nice pathway, of which the government is actually, at the time I finished school, sort of helped people upskill themselves. So there's some great grants on the table. Just look into that, and you can sometimes get your course or your certificate paid for, like a traineeship, kind of like an apprenticeship, but in the office version. Some cool opportunities. Just got to have a look out there for them.
And you know what? I think most importantly, the advice I can give to people in year 10, 11 and 12 is whatever you apply yourself to, have a go at that before you apply yourself to that. So Billy, I think, how old were you and what year were you in when you started trialing real estate and doing like Saturday reception work and stuff?
Yeah, I did year 10 work experience, actually somewhere else, not Novak, but it was too far away to get to consistently. So then found Novak because it was close to home. So that was 16, 17, and then just built on that.
Yeah, so guys, kids out there, year 9, 10, 11, get out there, get a part-time job in an industry that you like. Maybe really hard, but ask around, talk to family, see if they can help to get you in, and then try different sort of different faculties or whatever they call it. Try different industries and different things and say, okay, I like that, I don't like that. That's what you study for. Yeah,
ask around. I think people are generally happy to help, right? Because everyone has either got kids or know family that's got kids that have done the same thing. So everyone's had to do it at some point.
Big time. HSC trial examinations, 2 weeks time. Good luck, kids. And don't forget to enjoy the ride and what's happening around you. It's a beautiful time at school. I think it's 13 years of school all over in 7 weeks. It
goes so quick. And then I reckon 2 weeks after it's done, not talk to that anymore.
Just do nothing. Lisa said she only worked out what she wanted to do at 46.
There you go.
Ain't that the truth?
Great topic. See you later, guys.
Take care, Billy Bob. Thanks, guys. Hope this can help someone out there. Love you. See ya. Bye.
Bye.